Okay, okay, we are live and welcome. I am going to ruffle some feathers. I'm going to hurt some feelings. Some people will be very hurt in their feelings after listening to this. But I'm also going to be completely honest. Now, I do not care about the pushback that I will get from what I'm going to say now. Um, I'm just going to say it. Okay. So I am 52 years old myself, and I have been talking to up through the years, especially during the last, I would say maybe last 5 years, other men in my age group, so to speak. Um, And I also, a few years ago, I actually, before I became a full time novelist, I worked as a therapist. Also, I do think that I can view things in a historical perspective as a historical novelist. And I see that a lot of people, they are not being honest with what's going on. It's just, it's just why can't we just say it out straight? Let's be honest about this. Okay, men 50 plus years, around that age, I would say maybe depends on which country you're from. uh, let's say 40 plus, but in Scandinavia, Western Europe, I would say this goes for mostly men 50 plus years. We tend to reject women. And it's not because we just want to be alone. I like company, to put it that way. Um, it's just that we have something called standards. First of all, you need to have standards for yourself. It's like if you go out and get drunk every weekend and you have a big belly, you need to straighten yourself up. I mean, that's the worst thing I see. That's when these guys, these guys, they complain about women and then you look at them, like, come on, you know, they look like shit, and they complain about women. Okay. Now you may say that I look like shit, but because of my long hair and my beard, but that's kind of a look, you could say. Um, and I will also say that I'm not as I should shape up a little bit. I'm a little bit too heavy, but that's actually because I'm in a weight class in powerlifting until October. It's a bit higher than I want to be. Then I'll reduce my weight again, because I don't like to carry around extra body fat. It's just that's just me. And I don't really view food as a pleasure. It's just fuel. That's the way I see it. Okay. So standards for yourself, but also you have standards for women. And we come from a different generation, a different time. You see, when I was a teenager, and, you know, I'll just say it out straighter, women, they looked great. Of course, you know, yeah, because you were a teenager and the girls were teenagers, right? But it was different because one thing that I do not find attractive, and I think most men my generation will agree, obesity, I find that very unattractive. Here's the thing. I like to be active. I like to go hiking. And I think it's extremely unattractive if a woman seems to be unfit to go for a longer hike. I think that's just very unattractive. Okay. Now, none of what I'm saying now means that I believe this and that woman or this and that person is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you guys the honest truth about why men over the age of 50 tend to reject women these days. Okay. Now, you don't, if you're active, you don't want to be with someone who can't be active, or rather, should I say, who have no interest in being active. I wouldn't want to be with a woman who spends all her time looking at her fucking smartphone and watching TV shows. That would be death. I mean, you could, yeah, that would be just horrible. And also, here's another thing. I'm going to say this straight out, and this is going to hurt some people deep in their inner soul, right? And this doesn't go for all men over 50, but you would be surprised. You would be surprised when there are no women in the room. This is being mentioned more often than you would think. Okay? Men 50 plus years, they tend to not like tattoos on women. They find it a big turnoff. The same with this horrible thing where women seems to think that they need to punch holes in their body, right? It's a big turnoff. I don't like it. And I've heard many other men my generation, they don't like it either. Now, of course, there are exceptions, but the general attitude I get is that, well, we don't like that. And actually, we see it as a major, big red flag. Now, some people will say, because they're butthurt, excuse my language, oh, but you are so, you're, what's the word? Um, Prejudiced. It's not the looks that matter. It is the inner soul. It's the personality. Yeah, that is true. But you know what? I don't care. I don't. It's like, here's another thing. Okay, I'll be straight with you. Now, I don't care if some people will, and I'll get a lot of pushback. This gets worse and worse, right? Um, I'll get a lot of pushback for this. If you are a man, middle aged, you don't look like a bag of potatoes, you're fit, you have your ducks in a row, more or less, you're financially stable, you work out, you know, you present yourself as someone with integrity and self-respect. You, if you're such a man and you're middle-aged, you're not going to have to look for women because they will come to you. Okay? So why the hell would we try to why the hell would we go after women? They come to us. Okay? And this is a life lesson, and it's difficult for people to understand, and it's difficult because what I'm saying now comes across as, a bit Oh, who does that guy think that he is? I'm just telling you, that's my life experience. And it is the life experience of most men who are now middle aged. They are reasonably fit, they have their ducks in a row, they don't drink too much, they don't smoke, they don't do stupid stuff, and they have self respect. I believe women find that very attractive and they will come to you. So, why the hell would we be interested in women that we do not find attractive? Okay. So, I might become very unpopular now that I'm saying this, but I imagine that the guys here, my age, they are nodding now because that's your life experience too. Why is it your life experience? Because there are, if you are like that, you're a minority. There are not that many of us, right? And women recognize that and they want that. Okay. I'm not saying that women will start running after you out on the street and stuff like that. But if you're at a party, dinner party, something like that, or some kind of social setting, you can pretty much, it won't take that long before someone shows her interest. And I think it's a very natural thing because women tend to gravitate towards men who seems stable, strong, kind. It's not a big mystery. And it's like it. Here's another thing. Okay, when you see women now, the ones that show a lot of themselves, to put it that way, a lot of their physiology, that seems to be the women with a full, their whole fucking arm is tattooed and a fucking nose ring. And they do that because they think it signalizes that they are so unique and they are so trendy and whatever. When I see that, I just, it's like, okay, you're just very unoriginal. You're just like all the other ones. And that's fine. Some people, not it's not for everyone, to be unique. And if you need to feel trendy, if you do all of that, but don't be surprised when men, especially men my generation, reject you, because we will. Okay, that's just how it is. Now, let's be honest about another thing. When I say reject, men, if they have, feel like it, they will sleep with you for a night or two, but they don't love you, they don't respect you, they just take what they want there and then. And I'm sorry to say this, but this is how life works, and it's probably always been like that. Do I support that? Is it a good thing? Probably not. But that's just the world. That's how the world works. And it's like, yeah, does it make me sad to see that, you know, it's like I remember women in the 80s. They looked great. Now they are being made fun of because of their crazy hair and so on, or that's what they call it, crazy hair, the 80s. Really? Is that what you call crazy hair? Look at women now. A fucking nose ring, very often shaved on the side, blue hair. Who has the crazy hair? I don't think it's fair to say that it's the women from the 80s that has the crazy hair. Okay? Who is looking crazy? It's not those women in the 80s, is it? If you think about it. Now, do I think that women should not be allowed to just, I want to make this very clear. Women should not be allowed to dress like with it looks like they've painted they they've just painted a trousers on. You know what I mean? No, you know, do what you like. Do what you like. But okay, I'll be. I guess this is what you call being based. I've seen. It's like if you go to a gym now, if you train at a commercial gym, or even a yeah, if you've been there a couple of times, you've seen like 100 female butts with they hide nothing. Like it's like there's nothing special about it anymore. Well, yes, there is, but it's not like unique, you know. And it's like you need a little bit more than those gym pants that look like they've been painted on you. You need a little bit more, like for instance, an interesting personality. That's just a suggestion to appear as attractive. We're not. Well, I often say that we are apes, but yes, we are primates, but we are a little bit more advanced than that. You know, we so you get what I'm saying. It's like dress however you like. If you're a woman, just dress however you like. Uh, I just ask that for the children's sake, don't walk butt naked down the street. Um, that's all I ask. If you want to perforate your entire face with rings, do that. Okay, I'm sure it makes you feel great and very unique and stunning and brave. But it's like I don't think that, and most men my generation do not respect that. In fact, we see it as a sign of lacking self-respect. Okay, come on. I mean, if you're 50, if you're a man 50 plus years, you've seen like 1,000 naked female behinds, right? It's like, well, maybe not 1,000, but a lot. So you need a little bit more than that. Okay, it's like, come on, come on. So why do men 50 plus tend to reject women? Well, first of all, it's the looks today. We don't really like how women look now. I had a friend once said that women now, they look like a cake. They look like a marzipan cake with these the silver little round things they put on them sometimes to decorate them. A marzipan cake with these little silver pearls on them. Yeah, that's basically how many women now look. It reminds me of that. I've never forgotten that um, description of women now. If you get my meaning, I don't know if you have those cakes in other countries. Well, you probably do, but you know, you need probably a little bit of what we call classic beauty and self respect, a little bit perception. Maybe you need to have a little bit more to talk about than the latest reality TV show in order to be seen as attractive to someone my age, you know. And what I find hilarious is that the times that I have been talking about this, and I've done that before, I see these women, they respond with they respond with you know, oh, you're not getting any. That's why you're bitter. Oh, poor you, you're not getting any. It's like, what the hell, you know? Is that all you can say? Is that all you can respond with? You know, it's just a bit sad. So, okay, let's see here if we are getting any. Yeah, well, Wendy says classic beauty is extremely expensive. I don't think so. Classic beauty, you don't need to put makeup on. You just put on some, some outdoorsy clothes, and don't put all that fucking color in your hair. Just a natural look. Natural look. That's what I call classic beauty. Um, so now we get the angst is strong with this one. How do you get to that conclusion, Pax Disturbia, if you're responding to me? How is that your response? How can it be that? Um, and I mean, when it comes to the weight issue, a lot of people these days, they need to lose some weight. They need to lose some body fat. They eat like fucking starved pigs. That goes for both men and women. And you see it when they go shopping. They most of what is in their shopping trolleys or whatever you call them. They shouldn't eat. They shouldn't eat. Okay. And now, of course, we also have this myth, this lie, healthy at all sizes. You're not healthy if you're obese. Okay. And I would even say that, people who are very heavy in like powerlifting, natural powerlifting, drug free powerlifting, who are heavy because of their muscles. I am heavy, but I will be heavy even when I've dropped weight, or body fat, should I say. Um, but those who are like 120 kilos, even if they're quite ripped, it's not healthy long term. Um, it I don't think we're meant to be that heavy, even if it's muscle. But of course, that's much better than it being fat. So, you know, don't disrespect yourself with all that eating. Just don't do it. You know, it's about the calories predominantly, predominantly about the calories. So, um, And it's like another thing that I have seen here, by the way, these. Now I'm on YouTube, so it's like, and I could say that I'm a pagan or heathen. I don't like any of those words, but I think that just as a little sidetrack here, I get a lot of messages from Christian women, and they seem to want to make me a Christian. Just leave me be, okay? Don't fucking do that. It's getting annoying, okay? I've had it with that now. So don't do that, please. Just leave me be. I'm not going to become a Christian, so don't do that. Um, I would say something that all. I would also say something that is quite dangerous to say. Dangerous because these fucking red pill bros, they steal my content. That's because they themselves have no self-respect. They are thieves, and I hate them. So, but I'll say it anyway. This is, if you have traveled outside of the Western cultural hemisphere, you know that this is predominantly a Western phenomenon. And I can't understand why the hell, if you're single and you want a woman, like a good healthy relationship with a woman, you don't like tattoos, you don't like all those fucking piercings, you don't like obesity. What the hell are you doing here? Why are you here? It's like fishing for cod in a lake. You won't catch any, right? You have to go out in, on the ocean, right? So it's like, go east. If I mean, it's very different there. It's very different, and you know, I'm not. It's a bit difficult, not difficult, dangerous to talk about this because I don't want to be perceived as one of these. They call themselves what, passport bros, something like that. And of course, these things are. I I think it's a little bit more complicated than they want to make it. Um, but I've been to Russia, I've been to Ukraine, I've been to several of these countries in the East, and I can tell you that the women look different. They just do. Uh, you won't see, it's quite rare to see the piercings and the tattoos, and they pretty much look like the women here used to look like in the 80s. And what's not to like about that, you know? Um, so, yeah. I, I'm not saying this because I have a personal vendetta against, you know, women in general. Um, this is just an observation. It is being talked about. Um, and here, another thing that seems to be quite important to mention, by the way, is that these women, on social media, they use filters. Fucking hell, they use filters for their face and even their body. It's hilarious. and, and I saw, um, I am on Instagram. That's my guilty pleasure. I like to look at dogs with clothes on and stuff like that. But I also, since I post sometimes my, just clips from my training videos, and they show me, and also the outdoor stuff. I get, I follow some, both men and women who are also into the outdoors. And one of these women, now I'm getting to the point, I thought was in her 20s, you know, and it wasn't really the posts I've seen, not sexualized in any way. But I thought she was in her 20s. Where I think she's in Wales or something like that, going hiking up the hills there. And then she suddenly posted, or was it a Norwegian woman? Doesn't matter. Suddenly she posted a photo of herself without filters. I think maybe she forgot to put the filters on. And I saw that, oh, who's this? You know, oh, there are the wrinkles, and there are the, kind of little bit, a few spots in her skin, and so on. Um, yeah, without the filters, that's how they look, you know. So it's hilarious. I've never been on any dating app, but I can imagine that they use filters for those photos as well. And how is that? I mean, so they use filters. I don't know. Maybe yeah, I'm sure the guys do it as well now. I honestly don't know. But what when they meet? I'm sure that she will put on several thick layers of makeup. Um, but at some point, the makeup has to come off. So then what? Then what? And if they use these filters that give them this hourglass shape, um, and what you meet them in real life, I imagine that must be horrible, because there's, instead of that slim waist, there's like a big thing there, you know, so, of fat in the middle there instead. So it's like, wow. I'm very happy that I've never been in that situation. Jason here says, when you meet them, they have the body of an iPhone. Yeah. Um, Power says, take women in swimming pool for first date. Good advice there from Power. Honestly, I think that also there's a serious side to this. Well, all of this is quite serious, but as the title says, why do middle-aged men, especially men 50 plus years, stay single or reject women? Why do they reject women? It's a bit sad, because your life shouldn't be over. If you find yourself single at that age, your life should not be over. And especially if you are healthy, you should have many more good years. um, and it's like, here's another honest truth. um, what I'm hearing is that there's this idea among men my age that either you you kind of connect with someone your own age or someone much younger, like 25 plus years up. But there's a generation in between there that seems to, I don't know, maybe I don't have numbers on this, but it seems like there's like this lost generation somehow. I don't know why, but I don't know why. Um, but you shouldn't give up, also. So it's a bit sad when men do that and when women do that. I believe that there are lots of good people out there, lots of people that you would find attractive. And, you know, it's just a matter of keeping your self-respect intact, uh, and saying no when you're not interested. You would be surprised about how many men and women, probably, but mostly men, who don't say no when they're not interested. They can't say no. Um, so, yeah, it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad. And I think, honestly, when you hear these men and women talking about how they are now so much happier, um, so much happier alone, and they plan on staying alone, staying single for the rest of their lives, I think it's a bit sad because it's not how we were meant to exist. And when we say that because the alternative is much worse. And that's a horrible thing. It really is a horrible thing. Um, Not one her saying no makes her more interested. Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Uh, let's see here. Um, let's see here. I'll just scroll up a little bit and I'll try to respond to the comments there. Um, Green-eyed lady says, Bjorn, you are making me feel I need to eat healthier and go back to aerobics class. Well, I would suggest lifting weights, but eating healthier is always good. Let's see. Okay. Home plant says very little toxins in Eastern European food that causes obesity in the West. You know what? I think people get obese because they eat too much. Call me an extremist for saying that, but that's what I think. But many foods, the foods that you're not supposed to eat, are made to make you eat more. They make you more hungry. Let's see here. Green-eyed lady says, the older I get, the less makeup I wear because I came to realize it's silly. Yeah, I honestly don't like. I don't like when women wear makeup. I actually don't like that. Never have liked it. If you look at what is in the lipstick, for instance, especially red lipstick, is disgusting, you know. Um, but then again, I'm not going to tell women not to wear makeup. Not going to say that because it's such an important part of their routine, I guess. Christopher is asking how old I am. I'm 52. Very soon I'll be 53. Um, let's see. Paddy is asking, how strong can a man get if he starts lifting in his 50s? Is it impossible to get real strong and muscular? No, it's not impossible. It's very, very possible. You need to have a high protein diet, and you need to do full body movements. Let's see. Let's see here. My novels, actually, my novels have reached South America now. The Spanish, South American Spanish edition. I just learned that a couple of days ago. But when it comes to English, not yet, but it needs to happen. Hi there, Kurula. Yeah. So it's like, let's go up here a little bit again. Yeah, I see people here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the tattoos and all of that. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I think that if you don't like that, you should just say it. It's like someone will get their feelings hurt, but I don't care. It's if you're in a potentially romantic setting and you don't like that, then okay, you should be honest about that. And I actually think that it would be less popular to have that done to your physiology if people were being more honest. Because now um, it seems like okay, so it seems like it comes as a surprise. Um, how should I put this without? Okay, I'll try to generalize it a little bit. Some men will walk away because of that. Okay, they will do that. Not everyone, but some will do that. Some will walk away. They will say, I do not find, well, or rather, they won't say it, but they will just walk away, you know. And the reason is that you're not really that attracted to someone with a tattooed arm. You find it disturbing. I'm sorry to say this, but it's like you're not going to change that attitude. You're not going to change that opinion. And that, you know, some men, they just prefer a natural look. And it seems like a lot of men my generation absolutely prefer a natural look. So they are probably going to walk away. They will not find you attractive if you look like that. And it is the truth. It is just how it is. Okay, some people like tattoos. Some people even like these uh, piercings. Some people even like that, I'm sure. But it's what I'm trying to say here is that, especially if you are, and this is my life experience, having talked to other people, having after I worked as a therapist, people would talk to me and so on. Men my age group, especially the ones who have their ducks in a row, they are stable, financially stable, they are quite fit very often, they have self-respect. They don't like that. They don't like the tattoos, they don't like the piercings, they like a natural, healthy look. And they have options. You see, they are used to being approached by women. So why would they settle with something that they do not find attractive? Why would they do that? They're not going to do that. So I don't expect anyone listening to this to take this to heart or to learn from this, but I'm just telling you, if you're a woman and you think that you're going to get your whole fucking arm tattooed, well, yeah, go and do that, but don't be surprised when you are standing there, the man has walked away and he has not given any reason. Same with obesity. Even though, of course, obesity can be easily um, changed. In a couple of months, you can change a lot when it comes to obesity. It's just a matter of self respect and self control. So, yeah, and even easier is all that makeup, you know, all that makeup. Fucking hell, get those layers off. And this goes for some reason, especially British women. Why are you wearing so much makeup? You look like clowns. Stop doing it. It's Wash it off. So it's like, you know, yeah. Again, I'm not talking about everyone, but I'm giving a voice now to those people who are not thick skinned enough to say this on social media. So I will say it, and I have said it, and I don't care about the pushback. I don't fucking care. Yeah, the lips as well. Oh my god. Yeah. Also, stop making your lips look like these duck lips. It's just, and the eyebrows, tattooed eyebrows. Yeah, those women, they look like they're always very surprised. Always very surprised. Stop doing that. I'll tell you. You know what? You know what? Uh, Something that is really and a really attractive look. I'll tell you. Um, Middle-aged woman, gray hair, long hair, healthy, fit body, no makeup, nothing, no tattoos, no piercings, nothing like that, just a natural look. That's very attractive. That's a very attractive look. How often do you see that these days? Almost never. Almost never. Because here's the thing, these middle aged women, women my age, They are so fucking insecure, many of them, that they think that they need to do as the younger women so that they will be attractive too. So they go and get their fucking arm tattooed. They go and get their wrinkles. They they put Botox in their wrinkles, and so they get this dead face, and they pump up their lips with some kind of substance. I don't know what it is. And they always cut their hair. What's that about? Why is it that women, when they reach their 40s, they very often cut their hair short? What the hell? Why? Why? Why would any woman cut her hair short? By the way, why? I have questions. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I don't think there's any man out there who likes that, who find that attractive. And then you will say, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for the men. I'm not. Yeah, okay. So you know this. That's another thing. I was, I'm sure you've seen and heard that women will claim that they put on makeup and these clothes and stuff. It's not for men. It's for other women. Yeah, and I'm the princess of fucking Wales or something, right? That's a big lie. Yeah, I get that. It's like a competition, and that's what they're trying to say. So they are competing for attention against with the other women, but it is to be seen as attractive. So okay, why do they pump up their lips? It's to Why do they pump up their lips? Why do they wear red lipstick? Well, that's actually biologically among humans. It's to signalize sexual arousal. You know, it is that's what we in our subconscious mind see as men when we see lips like that. Um, why do they try to get rid of their wrinkles? Because they because we it, it it's supposed to give them a younger look, right? And uh, a young body, a young look is seen as more attractive by males, because younger women are more fertile, you could say. And this all of these things, that the things that men tend to find attractive, it's funny how it works, because they are the same things that signalizes fertility among women. Now, of course, we have this ridiculous standard of big butts, and I think what we're seeing now is not attractive at all. But okay, um, it does signalize fertility, as Jackass Bowers as biology. Yeah, it's biology, um, but it's biology. Um, it's it's exaggerated biology. It's a modern version of Venus of what's it called? Have you seen the little stone sculptures with this very obese woman? It's a Stone Age fertility goddess. Um, so it's a bit like that, the modern version of that. So you know I I will say that. Do I care about the pushback against what I'm saying here? No. No, not Venus of Milo. Um, it's Venus of, let's see, a Venus of, I can't remember it. Oh, Willendorf. That must be it. Yeah. So it's not really a Venus. We just call it that. Um, so, you know, then the women come in. If now this is a live stream, I'm sitting here in my dark office, so YouTube won't push this. It won't gain traction, this live stream, on the corporate tube platform. But but still, if we get some sour um, women, sometimes men, they try to score some feminist points by taking the side of modern women. If we get them in the comments, I really don't care. I really don't care. I like to be, I kind of like to be social, but at this point also, I there's so much about modern society and modern life that I just despise. I just hate it with all my heart, that I would rather just be in my own company at this point. Fuck the smartphones and fuck the governments and the AI, the fucking AI. They can all go and fondle themselves in a dark room. All of those people think that that's so great. I don't care anymore. And and yeah, that's my attitude. That's how I see it now. Um, so if I should look at the comments, which I don't think I will, do you think that I would even care? Do you think I would even care? No, I don't. Uh, so yeah, it's a saying. Yeah, tattoo women, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. Yeah, that I've heard that before. Um, so um, someone here says, how many men are looking to start a family at 50? I know I am not. Help raise stepkids, yes, but not start with infants. No, that's probably true. It's I mean, here's what I've heard. I know some guys who my age who got together with a much younger woman, and they became fathers again. Very often, it's because you love that woman and she wants to have a child or children, and you feel that it would be wrong to deny her of that. Um, and I can understand that. You know, it should not be, and this it should not be underestimated. What I'm saying here now, it should not be. I should not be. What I mean is, the following should not be underestimated: men's ability to give a woman a child. Okay, we live in a culture now where that is seen as nothing, and the man's contribution to that is seen as nothing. That's a horrible thing. It's just horrible. So yeah, that's sometimes that happens. Um, Sometimes that happens. Um, but yeah, um, if you become a father at the age of 50, you're almost 70 when they just become adults. Um, so that's something to think about. And I think kind of when you hear about these, is it Al Pacino? He became a father in his 80s. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, how should I put it? He won't be around for long. So he's making his woman a widow, and his child will be fatherless in a few years. So, but then again, 80s, that's extreme, of course. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, Paddy, this one I do absolutely agree with you on. The nation should pay for children. The family unit is the foundation of the nation. I think that this is a more more serious problem, of course, that we are seeing a decline in birth rates, and some people celebrate that, but they are very stupid for doing so, because it's not going to add up. The numbers won't add up. So when people stop having children, the aging population will be forced to work so that they will pay taxes. So when people don't have children anymore, or have very few children, you're going to have to work first until you're 70, then maybe 75, and then there will be very little pension after that. The numbers won't add up. So, um, yeah, we should make it financially easier to have children. Um, we should make it financially so that you're not risking your personal economy when you have children. At this point, I have only two children, but at this point, I think that we should get up to four in each family. Each couple should have four children. This is just a numbers game. It really is, and you can't force people to have children, of course, but there should be an incentive there. There should be an incentive. Women need to have children earlier in their life, and they need to have more children. Uh, I don't see why that is such a controversial thing to say, because okay, the alternative is that you'd never get a pension and you work until you're 75. I don't know about you, but I don't want to work until I'm 75. Now, of course, I'm an author, so I'll probably work my whole life, but not at the same rate as I am now. Yeah. Um, so, COVID number 3 will get us before retirement. Uh, I don't think so. Uh, I don't think so. I didn't get COVID. I didn't get the vaccine. I didn't get COVID. So At least, well, maybe I did get COVID, but I didn't notice anything. So I don't think I. If you don't notice anything, then you're probably okay. So, um, so yeah. Um, Another thing, at this point, the income from my channel is already a joke. So I don't fucking care if I'm demonetized anymore. So I'll just say it. Now, this is a little bit, you know, maybe you won't agree, but I'm just saying something here now, okay, that you need to take into account. And this goes for both men and women. After COVID, after the vaccination disaster, those of us who remained unvaccinated, you know, I've seen a lot of people saying that they will not have, they will not be physically intimate with someone who's been vaccinated against COVID. I'm sure you've seen it too. It's usually being censored off of social media. But I've heard quite a lot of people saying that, and more people than you can imagine did not get Billy Bob's cough medicine. I do not believe the numbers that the government have been serving us about how many got the shot. I don't believe those numbers. It just doesn't seem to add up because there are so many that I've talked with now. They didn't get it. They didn't get it, but they kept quiet during the whole disaster. And now they are saying, many of them are saying that they at least they won't have unprotected sex with someone who had the vaccine. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Um, I'm not claiming it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that that also comes into the equation here now. And it's probably something that, in more cases than most people can imagine, keeps people single and keeps people away from establishing relationships. And you may call it a conspiracy theory. You may say whatever you like, but I'm just telling you, I've spoken with so many people who are saying this. You can say that they're wrong, you can say that they're right, but it's probably a fact that there are quite a lot of people out there who will not be having sex with with vaccinated people. So it's like just another thing to add to the whole equation. Okay. Let's see here. Hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are saying what I just said, and some people are saying it's stupid, but it's just, you can't deny that it's just another thing to that it's just another thing that separates people now. Okay. Um, let's see here. Um, yeah. So, how? What do you think? Will this be demonetized? Maybe, maybe the $10 I would make from this live stream I won't get now because it's demonetized. Oh, how will I sleep at night? Um, yeah. Mm. Okay. This was an interesting discussion. Sure, it will make me very popular in the comment section there. Yeah. Okay. Have a wonderful night or morning, whatever it is. We will talk later.